Farje, a Latin America analyst. Javier, how powerful are the Mexican drug cartels?
Well, obviously, the Mexican authorities believe that this massacre was the result of a confrontation between the La Línea cartel, which is a splinter group of the Juarez cartel that operated in the border between the U.S. and Mexico, and the Salazar cartel, which operates in that area. However, there seems to be that they were targeted because this particular group of Mormon group, they have been opposing the activities of the cartels for the last decade. 10 years ago, they refused to pay ransom after the kidnapping of one of the members. The member was released unharmed, and since then they have been a loggerhead with the local drug cartels. So they have different versions, but it seems to me, based on the information we have, that they would have been targeted because they have join a movement that opposes the activities of the drug cartels. And this cartel La Línea, which is, as I said, a splinter group from the Juarez cartel, which operates between Ciudad Juarez and El Paso, would have been responsible for this massacre.
What is the case of El Chapo's, one of El Chapo's sons? Joaquin El Chapo Guzman is serving a prison sentence in the United States. The head of the Sinaloa cartel, one of his sons a couple of weeks ago was actually arrested by local police, but then there was a huge gunfight that the police had to let him go. And Obrador, the president, said that was the right decision. We don't want a massacre every time we have these kind of confrontations, and we'll catch the son at some stage. But what does that say about the relationship between the government and the drug cartels and the possibility of the government winning this war?
Well, that's a very good question. President Lopez Obrador decided not to go ahead with the arrest of this man to prevent, as you said, a massacre from happening. His policy to fight the drug cartel has been to use the social element of it. That means fighting the social reasons why many people join these cartels instead of going all guns blazing like Felipe Calderón, his predecessor, and Peña Nieto did. It hasn't worked. That decision that President Lopez Obrador took not to go ahead with the arrest of El Chapo Guzman's son was heavily criticized in Mexico. And many people, if you see the media, the Mexican media says that his strategy is actually not working. And this massacre is a proof that his strategy is not working. Now, whether Mr. Lopez Obrador will actually take a more radical position in relation to the fight against drugs, that is another matter. But so far, he's been trying to stick to a kind of left-wing agenda of fighting the social causes of drug traffic instead of going to the military option, which is fighting them in the same terms they have. However, this hasn't worked before. President Felipe Calderón went all the way, to fight them with guns, and he lost that war because these drug cartels are very well armed, but at the same time, many former members of the security forces are part of this cartel, so they know how the security forces operate. So Mr. Lopez Obrador is in a dilemma whether to stick to his plan or adopt a more warlike approach to the situation in Mexico. This massacre might help him change his mind, but we don't know yet. Yeah, but do you think in this particular case there may be some accountability that if it is a drug cartel, that cartel will practically be forced to give up some people, whether they're the gunmen or not, because they're American nationals, and it might just be one killing too far? Well, they have dual nationality. We have to understand that this group, this family, has settled in Mexico in the 1920s. So they're very much part of Mexican society, although they have dual nationality, American and Mexican. So in that respect, Lopez Obrador believes that he had the responsibility to deal with this situation because they were Mexican citizens. In relation to this massacre, cartels do not care about the consequences of their actions. That's something that has been a feature of the Mexican cartels. We have seen gruesome killings in Mexico where children, women have been murdered with total impunity. So I don't really think that this particular massacre would force any kind of cartel to actually give up weapons or stop their activities or slow down their activities. They don't really care one little bit about the consequences of their actions. And because they are involved in interfight between cartels, if these are casualties, of this kind of war, they won't care about that for as long as they win the war against rival cartels. So no, I don't really think this is going to make any difference in terms of, not only that, when Mr. Lopez Obrador proposed his social change policy to fight the drugs, the response of the cartel was more massacres, basically saying, we don't really care what you think about this, we don't really care about your strategy, we are going to continue our actions, our violent actions. So no, this won't make any difference in terms of the way they operate.
Javier Farje, you know, we always appreciate your contributions on TRT World, so thank you very much.